totally baseless.
Hey, it's totally senseless. I mean, totally baseless.
Senseless.
If you heard this, you'll agree. Either way is fine. My name's John, and with me is a guy who tried to get an upgrade on Turkish Airlines, but New York City Mayor Eric Adams had taken all the good seats. Steve, welcome to the podcast.
I only fly first class, John.
Not when Eric Adams takes them all. And a guy who JD Vance begged, please don't have any more children. Dave, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, but I got a nice couch.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not how children are made, but okay. And a guy whose band, Captain Yoshida, will be opening on the new Oasis reunion tour. Dan, welcome to the podcast.
One of us has to be there.
All right. Are you the last member of Captain Yoshida?
I'm the last remaining original member.
You're the only one that has an OD. Got it.
Well, they're all still alive, but it sounds better that way.
Okay. And
They just don't want to. They just know better than to come back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They wish they were dead after they hear that.
Yeah, we all tragically died.
We keep this podcast short because we're too cheap to pay for our own Zoom membership. So let's get going. Here's our trivia question for the week. Let's see which one of you. We have 1, 2, 3 people who have college degrees, 2 people that are reasonably intelligent, and 1 that might guess the right answer to this trivia question. I'll let you guys decide who is who. I'm going to read you 3 purported facts. One of them is not true. You tell me which one is not true. Giraffes are only half as likely to get hit by lightning than people due to their biology. Deaf people use sign language while dreaming. And number 3, 1 horse actually generates 24 horsepower. Which one of these is not true? Aren't you glad you joined us now, Steve?
I am.
Deaf people dreaming.
Yeah, for sure. Same.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Second
what I
out
was going to
opinion.
go with. Yeah.
Oh, all 3 of you agree. Deaf people use sign language while dreaming. That is actually true. That's, yep.
No. Wait. You misunderstood what I was saying.
Yeah. Well,
I was
yeah.
saying I don't agree with those guys.
Yeah.
It's the giraffe. It's the
The
giraffe.
horse actually generates 24 horsepower. That's true. About a max.
The giraffe,
And
because
giraffes.
they're taller, so they're more likely to get
Well,
hit by lightning.
thank you for figuring that out after your guess. Your incorrect
Peer
guess.
pressure. Peer pressure.
Yeah.
You said one of
peer pressure.
you said one of us was dumb and might actually guess the right answer.
Well,
so
that's
I
not you
figured
then.
I would.
Yeah.
I figured I'd piggyback on them, so that way nobody knows who the dumb one was.
Yeah. Well, that was a dumb thing to do then, because they were wrong. Giraffes are actually 30 times more likely to be hit by lightning because they're taller.
But see, you would think that's too obvious, Jack. No, there's the lightning will bypass them and hit the next thing.
Well, no, that's why they stand under taller trees.
Apparently
Trees that are
not, because they
taller
get
than
hit
them.
by
Too
lightning
high.
an awful lot.
It's too high.
Too high.
Too high.
Gonna need a rocket up his ass to catch that one.
Yeah, right. All right. Let's get on to our topic. The vice presidential debate, which was on Tuesday night. What did you guys think? Well, first of all, just a little intro. We are going to have to stretch to make the jokes because these guys were way too nice to each other and nothing was crazy. But I think that was the goal, is to not appear crazy. But yeah, sure. What was your take?
My take was
Anybody?
that I really enjoyed the lack of talk about cats and dogs. And I gotta say,
You don't like cats
yeah,
and dogs?
I do not like cats and dogs, as my dogs bark in the background. Yeah, it was nice to get to be serious. It was nice to get a dose of civility in the political in the discourse. So I definitely appreciated that.
The appearance of civility.
The appearance of it, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Okay.
I had 3 observations that I took away from.
One of them
at
is
least
not
from-
true.
No. From JD Vance's side.
Okay.
1, I think he was told to mention his 3 beautiful children as much as possible, just so people know that he fucks other things other than couches, right? That's not the only thing he gets down with because he has 3 beautiful kids.
My 3 lovely kids and my Ottoman, who I love very much.
Yeah, because he always had to get that in. My 3
Yeah.
beautiful children.
Well,
Okay,
I'm
get
so
it.
glad I
Children
did not
without
abort them.
upholstery.
And when you don't answer questions, or at least when you start answering questions, remember to blame Kamala Harris and her open borders. Right? Because everything, he either wouldn't answer the question or he would blame Kamala
The
Harris.
yeah, no matter what it was, the open
Yeah.
border. What the-
You know, there have been more lightning strikes this year in America.
Well, Kamala Harris and the open borders, right? Those immigrants.
Yes.
Thanks, Kamala.
Oh, and last,
I also. Oh no, go ahead.
well, last but not least, they told him, don't be batshit crazy.
right.
Don't be crazy, and also make the most obvious appeal to women by wearing a freaking pink tie. Did you see that? He was wearing a pink tie, which
yeah,
they
there was a lot
never
of
wear.
there was a lot of somebody sat down with him and told him what they thought normal people do, right?
But
No
yeah,
abortion, yes to pink ties. That'll work.
it'll work. It'll even out.
Yeah,
You'll get
no,
the undecided women vote with the pink tie.
the main thing I took, dude is just smarmy as all get out. The guy's slimy. The big thing that they kept saying was, oh, he was smooth. But yeah, that's not a good thing, right?
That's the exact same thing I was gonna say. He was smooth. He was slick.
Slick
He
Willie,
seemed
huh?
very nice. He seemed very nice and cordial, but he didn't say anything, or he lied when he did say
Yeah,
something.
right? It was either a
But-
lie or a non-answer. There was no
Yeah.
there was no policy. I like it when they brought up the whole concept of a plan, and then his whole big, oh, he does have a plan. It's like 900 pages long. I'm not going to sit here and read it. That's what you tell somebody when you don't have anything, right?
Yeah, I turned in my
I
homework.
have an idea, but you wouldn't understand it right now.
He tried to make their agenda seem more palatable because he was being very professional, very smooth in his delivery. He was a lot smoother than
You know what I
than-
noticed
than-
too?
than Walls was.
He eased up on the eyeliner too.
Oh,
He should have went the
interesting.
other way. He should have went
Wait,
goth.
totally. No, you know what? The
Goth,
eyeliner is the thing I
JD.
actually like about the guy. Maybe he's into goth. Maybe he's punk rock. You know,
That'd
maybe
be
he
kind of
likes-
cool.
Yeah, but
That would
I
get
would've
the swing
picked up.
vote.
Totally. But the guy's a cosplayer though, right? Because everything is like, oh, don't listen to the intellectuals. You went to Yale, dude.
Yeah, right.
You went to
Oh, but he
fucking Yale.
Yeah, but he
You didn't
always
go
had to talk
run the
about.
community college.
Yeah, but when I was growing up with the grandmother or a mother on heroin or whatever
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah,
on
yeah,
on
right.
opiates, opiates in rural Ohio.
Yeah.
Okay, dude. Yeah, that went to
Pick a lane.
Yale.
Are
Yeah,
you
yeah, you're
simple
not-
country folk or are you the Yale educated slick politician? You know, it's
You know, if you turn down the volume on the TV, you could actually hear his grandmother rolling in her grave.
I also enjoyed how every time Waltz nailed him on something or called something out or actually made a valid point, he would turn and do that shocked face to the camera.
Yeah, right.
What?
Like the kind of
We-
Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we call that the Pikachu face. He
He
was definitely like, huh, what? You did what? Unbelievable. Yeah, I mean the guy is certainly slick. He comes across as smarmy. He's definitely like a little bit too made up for what, for what he should be. But I'm curious about what you guys think about the contrast between Walls and Vance. Like, is it? I know that Walls comes across as sort of avuncular and this kind of nice Midwestern whatever guy, but was he too sort of too like folksy for this? Should have been more aggressive and call them out on his BS, or do you think that the whole nice uncle thing plays better?
I know
I
wasn't
thought-
he
oh,
on
sorry.
King of the Hill? I know he's one of those
So,
characters.
Here's Bill Dauterive.
Yeah, the bulldozer. Yeah, no, I was gonna say, I thought he was a little too nice at the beginning, right? He looked like he was getting his bearings, but he nailed him farther along in the debate. But yes, to me,
Like
Waltz-
a cheap sofa.
yeah. No, to me, Waltz is like a white Morgan Freeman. He's got that voice. He's like America's voice, right? He belongs in a Ken Burns documentary, right? He was folksy. He was down home, but he had substance to his answers. And he got tripped up at the beginning when they asked him about the being in Hong Kong in '89. But he said, "Yeah, I screwed up. I'm a lunkhead," and moved on. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you should have just started busting out in like Chinese.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, I have an answer to that question. 我好信我的大不懂我.
And
But
if
I mean, it
that's what
works.
you're trying. I
It
mean, like, if
worked
that's
for
what
him.
you're trying to crucify him on, that he misspoke about when he was in China.
Yeah, I don't quite understand the thing here. Is it that he went to China and he became sort of a like he's aligned with the Chinese state now? Is he
Yeah.
a Chinese
No,
asset
it's
because he went
like
to China?
it's kind of like the stolen valor thing where like he misspoke and
Yeah.
like trying to play it up too much. But he
Yeah.
was there when the
He-
Tiananmen Square thing happened, but he wasn't there till
There.
later in August.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
didn't, but he never said like I stood in front of the tank with my friend.
That was
Pete,"
me.
You know,
I was
because-
the
Yeah.
tank man.
Yeah. Yeah, but I guess they got him on you weren't there on the day that happened.
Yeah,
right?
he was
You're
in
like,
China
Yeah.
around
you were
the time.
you
But
were
he
there
made
a
it
few
sound
months
like
later.
he made it sound like he was. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
But he said, okay, I misspoke. I'm
He also said he
old,
was
I'm-
the second shooter from the grassy knoll. So
He's actually the second spitter.
he's
yeah.
like Wilford Brimley reborn.
Yeah, he
And
did
there-
fumble a bit, right?
But
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think that's just the way he speaks because I guess he said he wasn't a great debater, right? I think what he actually said was, I'm not a great debater, but I will concede that JD Vance is a master debater.
Yes.
He's got the couches to prove it.
you can,
But
though, he's not like a smooth public speaker, but he knows his shit.
that was the difference, right? One guy was smooth and slick, but said nothing or lied or was really vague. The other guy actually was giving you policy and substance to what he was saying and answering the questions as best he could. So one guy was real and the other guy was fake. And one guy sucked and the other one was better.
Yeah,
I'm not going to
okay.
say who's who.
But as much as JD Vance was lying and not answering, I think I do have to give it that they kept it to at least try to talk about policy and not.
They agreed way
Like,
too much. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right, JD. You're a swell guy. Thanks,
Yeah.
Tim. I agree. I want you.
Totally.
I like where
I heard that they took an Uber together to go back home.
It's gonna be like the new buddy comedy.
Yeah, right. Planes, trains, and insurrections.
And federal land.
Federal land.
like when they
Yeah,
were-
where is this federal land anyway?
yeah, exactly. What are you going to do with this federal land? You're going to give it for housing? What are you going to do with the federal land that you're going to
Can you-
take for oil drilling?
Hey,
Yeah,
and
is
then
it
the
the same
Native
federal land?
Americans are like, hey, I
Yeah.
have an idea.
Hey, there's these guys, they're called Navajos, they're not using it anymore, right?
Yeah, right. You're giving
Let
away
them
our
need it.
land again, huh?
Yeah, it's federal.
Federal.
Nobody's
Yeah.
using
You
it.
guys, listen, you guys don't own it, right? Even you guys know you don't own it.
Oh man.
But that's kind of what cracks me up, right? It's all these like big, like pie in the sky, nonsensical ideas. Oh, there's a housing crisis. We'll take federal land. But where's this, right? Federal land is like missile testing ranges and national parks.
Right.
Yeah,
There's a lot in North Dakota, Wyoming.
Yeah.
there's a huge swath in New Mexico, right? You might die of radiation, but
Is the Mojave Desert federal land?
There's like parts of it,
Maybe.
yeah.
Maybe. Yeah,
Yeah,
why did
can
you go
have
there,
China
JD?
Lake, you can have White Sands, you can have Los Alamos, all these beautiful
Yeah, right.
spots for housing.
one of the funniest thing was when they caught him for talking about the Springfield migrants and calling them illegal, and they're like, no, they're legal. He's all, I thought there wasn't going to be any fact checking.
Yeah, right.
I thought I could
That's
just
your
lie
answer?
through my way through
Yeah.
this.
Oh, okay, sure. You're gonna just say an outright lie, and we're just gonna let it go.
Right. Why didn't he just say, I'm not allowed to lie in this thing?
Basically, you guys aren't helping me much. Hello, there's supposed to be no fact checking. Haven't you heard all the other shit I said before this?
Yeah, it was like a little ticker, liar, liar, pants on fire. That was like the highlight, and then they muted him. That was the best.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it
Nah,
was only
dude.
muted one time.
Yeah,
They
well,
were
you know,
they were so civil, weren't they? That was
They-
really
they were
bumming me out.
yeah. What cracked me up is the female hosts were just like
Yeah.
there's a school teacher and and they're admonishing the little kid. They're like, no, we're gonna cut your mic down now.
We have a lot to get to, children.
Yeah,
This part of the
exactly.
museum is closed. We're gonna have to move on now. I
Thank you, we're
want to
moving on.
stay. Look at the
Yeah.
T-Rex.
I mean, I think everybody was tired of the shit show debates, right? Like,
Yeah, so it was a pleasant surprise because I think everybody was waiting for JD Vance to just start spewing
All
out.
right. Let's
Yeah.
see.
You know.
Let's see what he's
not
gonna
know
say
how to
this
order
time.
donuts
Yeah.
and just start like spiraling into nonsense.
Yeah, yeah.
I too like donuts of that particular
Yeah.
flavor.
I too, I'm an earthling. It's like,
Yeah, right, right.
come on, man. You don't know how to order a donut?
Thank you. My name is Kodo. I mean, JD Vance.
Don't blame me. I voted for
Kronos.
Godo.
Yeah, right. Do you watch Rick and Morty?
I do
Anyone?
love it.
Anyone?
Yeah.
Principal
No.
Vagina. That's who Tim Walsh reminds me of. The principal from Rick and Morty. And the very subtle name of Principal Vagina. Yeah. He looks
It's
just
very
like him.
subtle.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah.
You got to dig for the humor on that one.
That's what we
Yeah.
call a single entendre name.
Yeah, right.
That's just
Very
a ton of-
nuanced. Very nuanced there.
But his wrinkled head looks like a male body part, actually. I'm looking at it right now.
The assistant principal Schwang,
Yeah, yeah.
JD Vance was kind of going back to everything. Does he not know how like government works? Because it was Kamala Harris's administration. Kamala Harris, like she's the vice president, dude. She doesn't do any of that.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
knows
that's-
what he's doing.
Well,
Yeah.
he knows what
I
he's
mean,
doing.
he knows his audience, right? He knows his audience. So
Like,
when
But
he's
he,
saying that,
he could have just said, "Hey, you're not running against Biden," like that same line.
Yeah,
You're running against Kamala, and she's not the president.
yeah, but
Yes.
she's not sitting at the border. She doesn't make policy. She
Give
doesn't.
it 2 more months, and she'll be.
Because like for
I
2
think-
years it was Kamala's not doing anything. Kamala has disappeared. Now she's the dark overlord running everything from behind.
Dark Kamala.
she's
Dark
the
Kamala,
master of
yeah.
puppets, right? She's in the background pulling all the strings
Totally.
since the beginning.
Yeah.
That was all her big game plan. That's the
Yeah.
other thing that kind of struck me was, I don't think you know how government works, sir.
Yeah.
The vice president doesn't have as much power as you are claiming they have.
Or is it
Yeah.
wishful thinking that like you're just gonna like, oh, I'm getting elected?
And then sometimes crowds show up to hang the vice president.
Yeah.
So be
No, I
careful
don't want
what
to
you
be that
wish
kind of vice
for.
president,
Yeah.
Be careful
Well,
what you wish for, JD.
That's kind of only happened under one president, right?
right?
I'm just saying, this guy's going to be the vice president of that president if he gets reelected.
Yes.
Watch out.
Yes, Mr. Trump. I would
Right.
like to be the next person to be thrown under the bus.
Yeah.
Is that how much of an opportunist you have to be though to go, hey, what happened to the last guy that had this job? His boss tried to get him hanged. I'll take it.
Oh, it's still vice presidency.
Right?
And then Donald Trump would say, like, no, he said his boss was well hung.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. In that case, I'm in.
He also you might have missed this, but he also hilariously Trump, instead of actually tweeting about the debate, he tweeted about Pete Rose dying, which is incredible. It's like, what are you talking about, old man? There's a debate going on. He's talking about Pete Rose. He
Hey,
He
Pete Rose
doesn't
died.
care. If it doesn't involve him, he doesn't care. That's how
doesn't
much
give a
he-
shit.
Yeah, that's how much he cares about JD Vance. He's like,
Yeah.
he's like, what?
Also, the only man with the worse haircut than him died. So it's
No. You got to remember the owner of the Raiders. That guy has a bad
That's
haircut
true.
for being a billionaire or close to it.
Yeah,
It looks like a,
Loby cut
Yeah.
Mark Davis.
yeah. Mark Davis is just wow. He looks like special needs kid. Can I say that?
He's got that sling blade haircut.
You just did.
We'll edit it out. Don't worry. But yeah, Trump, of
In
course,
post.
had to make it about himself. He was posting, saying that you should follow him as he's live tweeting the debates instead of actually watching the debates. And he actually tweeted 40 times during the debate. So he was definitely watching his boy very closely to make
Yeah.
sure that JD never once said that Trump had lost the election. And that was
Well, yeah.
actually the best part of the whole thing, trying to put
Yeah.
He couldn't.
put him on
he
the spot.
couldn't say it. Yeah, it's like
He was pretty smooth throughout. He sounded pretty like a normal guy. You're like,
Yeah.
well, are these reasonable, positions? It sounds like, but then at the end, he couldn't say, I should say he was afraid to say
Yeah.
that Trump had lost the election, knowing that's when he was looking at the camera. He was looking at Trump. Like, look,
Totally.
see, boss,
Yeah.
I didn't say you lost.
It's like he
That-
was like
that was-
choking on. He was like choking it back, right? He's like, "Can we go
That was the-
commercial?"
that was the gotcha moment, right? They were
Right.
waiting for him. They were waiting, and they're like, okay, now we're going to derail his whole
Normal guy.
Yeah.
his normal facade. There, we're going to derail it by
You're like,
asking him if
he's been fine. He's been talking about policy. Sure, he's been lying, but he's been, cordial to Vance. He was cordial to Waltz. He seemed sympathetic when he heard about his son being at the shooting, but then the wheels came off right there. dude.
what should I say?
Let's talk about the future, the next
Yeah.
insurrection.
Let's talk about the future.
He's like, Wallace tells them, did Trump lose the election? Does Harris
Look,
censor?
puppies.
Does Harris censor? That's not the answer. That's not answering the question, sir. That's misdirection.
Look, solar eclipse.
Yeah, he throws a little
Even
smoke
then,
bomb and
Waltz was like,
disappears.
Yeah,
I don't work for Facebook. I don't run Facebook. Right? Yeah, I think that was the main
that's where he kind of came undone a little bit. I was kind of like, okay, I watched the whole thing. I was like, okay, I know that he's kind of skimming the edge of his real extreme positions on here, but it does make it sound kind of reasonable. And then oh, he can't say that still? Damn.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because I was watching
He's
it with,
afraid to. His boss is
I was
gonna
watching it with my daughter, and I was like, she's like, who's that? And I'm like, that's JD Vance. He's Trump's vice president. And she was like, he sounds normal. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's the point. I was like, that's the point. That's why they got him up there, and that's why he's talking. But if you listen carefully, you'll realize that those are lies. That he's basically telling you a bunch of hogwash. But it's for, I guess, the people that don't know or are undecided. They looked at him up until when they asked him about the 2020 elections. They looked at him and they're like, okay, this guy's reasonable. This guy is put to, it can put two words together, and he's not talking about eating dogs or cats. And he was doing his job, right? Selling.
This is all about getting the swing voters, just sending
Yeah,
normal.
yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
Measured.
Well, yeah, the whole Waltz kept on going back. We're pro women, for the women to decide, and then he would keep going back to the states. It's like, no, the whole point
Yeah.
is nobody should be deciding, but the woman.
Yeah. This is like, well, some states are going to be able to decide no abortions, and some states will
Yeah.
be able to decide yes abortion. But it's like,
Some states can choose to be Nazi fascist states.
yeah,
And
And some
exactly.
that's freedom. That's
And, like,
that's
Exactly,
okay.
exactly. It's
That's
like,
freedom
and then
of choice. And
But
I
what
prefer
he-
to be in those states. But if you're
what he
like
wasn't
a
telling you-
Stalin-esque communist atheist, then you can go to your Californias or your New Yorks and kill babies in their if they're after kindergarten.
Buy all the illegals, buy up all the houses. Don't forget that one.
The illegals are
Of course, that's
that was hilarious. That was funny. Yeah, that joke writes itself.
Like, really?
Yeah, everything with the illegal immigrants.
Kamala Harris and her open border policy.
Yeah.
everything they asked him, he wouldn't come up with anything.
I would
he'd
love
start
to
with,
if they had a camera behind him so you could see the lectern, and the only thing it says is Kamala Harris's open border policies have caused, and then a
Yeah.
whole long list of everything.
Caused the Yankees to not win the World Series last year. Kamala Harris's open borders.
Yep. Yeah, I don't get this Trump posting that Tampon Tim is an idiot, and Tampon Tim, like, is this bad that he provided? I guess that's a reference to him providing
Yeah.
tampons to
Totally,
women
that's like,
who need it. So that's the problem.
yeah, yeah.
no, you got to realize Trump is there to protect the women.
Yes.
Like, yeah, if you're an underwear model, he'll be right there to hold your hand.
Nobody's
and
going to
support
protect
you.
women better than Trump.
All the
Nobody protects
Slovenian
women better
underwear
than
models
Trump.
are well taken care of.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Look at my pink tie. I promise you. And my eyeliner. I'm one of you. I'm basically one of you.
He owned that pageant, right? What was that, Miss America or Miss Universe?
Oh, Miss, I think Universe. Yeah.
And then he would go behind the
Yeah,
stage
we
and
go
like
through. Yeah,
while they're getting dressed and everything.
I'm here to protect you. I'm
Just
here to
protecting
protect
them.
you.
If a
You don't have
if
to
a
cover
bullet
those up.
comes, if a bullet comes towards your breast, my hand will be right there in front of it.
I will bigly protect you.
Yes, right. All right. Well, who do you guys say won the debate?
Walls. He actually had some substance.
Okay, an unbiased opinion. Dan?
The American people, because we didn't get a
Oh.
shit show. But
Oh,
Walls
nice
actually
one.
answered
Okay.
questions.
Yeah,
I am also in agreement. I'm gonna go with the American people for sure.
because they
It
were
was a civil
civil.
debate. It was a civil debate. Very few random things about cats and dogs and whatever, mostly policy focused. Yeah, the American people. A return to sanity, for Christ's sakes.
I didn't feel stupider for having sat through it. 'Cause
Yes,
the other
exactly.
debates, like, you know,
In that case, I want to change my answer.
Yeah, okay.
Just so we know, so we don't know who the stupid one was, right? From the beginning of the show.
Well, no, I just average and then
I think the giraffe won the debate. I'll go with the giraffe.
I was gonna say immigrants, but
no, they're definitely losing right now. And the poor people of Springfield too.
From Haitian. The immigrants from Haitian.
Asia, yeah. I was actually, pretty disappointed. I was looking for all these, jokes to come up for us.
Oh, totally.
Easy peasy, slow pitches, but
Yeah.
they were like too nice. And they actually like stood together and chatted with their wives after the debate there for a little bit. And they started holding hands, singing Kumbaya. It was really weird.
Actually, that was an Ashley Home Furnishings commercial.
Yeah.
Did
Hold
I
on.
guess it's all better than Trump calling for the purge, right? Which he did like 2 days ago or something.
Oh man.
Do you
know
guys
what?
see this?
Screw this. Okay, we're gonna start over. We're just gonna talk about Trump's latest stuff because it's way, way more interesting.
He called for the purge.
Would
said,
Hannibal
we just
Lecter
need-
be part of that?
We just need 1 day of violence and we can clear it up. Okay, awesome.
oh yeah, the purge. I thought you said perch, and I'm like, what? Yes,
No, the purge.
the
Like,
purge. Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
That is the
Yeah, we need
purge.
one good day of cleansing, I guess is what he
Yeah, the police to go wild. You're like, oh man.
Oh.
Nobody has ever thought of this before.
We'll turn on the faucet and start going to town on all the immigrants. What?
Oh man,
I saw it on TV. I saw it.
I saw it on TV. Yeah. All
My bread
right.
and butter.
Yeah, another fascinating, insightful discussion from our team of experts. Thank you guys. All right, please hit subscribe to keep up with the latest episodes, and thank you for unbelievably making it to the end of this podcast. See you next week.
Bye.
Thank you later.
Let's go Mets.
This thing sucks.